So every day, this chopper becomes a little less Paul Sr., Paul Jr., which is my goal. Today was a pretty big jump, you know, the cosmetically. Still doesn't run. Let's not be crazy now. But it had this, you know, the big bullet headlight, which is fine. Nothing wrong with it. It's still a lot of bikes rolling around these look cool, but with what I wanted to do with this bike was to take it back and make it look as 60s, 70s skinny as possible. We went with a 4-inch, so bam. I did leave the spike bolts as sort of an homage to the old dude that built this bike, because they put spikes all over it. That, my buddy Captain. So I did leave those little spike bolts, and I'll leave a few of them just because, you know, they built this bike together as buddies, and I don't want to just completely trash it, you know. So I do love this. You know, the look of it is so much more, you know, the style I'm going for. It's a little 4-inch. It'll be fine. And let's be honest, this is not an everyday driver, everyday rider. This is probably not even every week rider. It'll probably very rarely come out of the garage. I'm just being completely honest because, you know, that's mo comfy. So, anyway, there's just one little chopper update. I pulled the battery. I'm going to put it on a charger, a real charger, and just see if it's the battery or what, because that click thing seems like it's just not getting enough juice. The motor's freed up now. I put some Marvel Mystery Oil on top of the motor, got the motor freed up, so that ain't the problem, but I just realized this is the intro. So what we're doing is switching that over to that. So I'll be back. So, remember the rainy day? If you don't, I'll stick it up here. So I got caught in that torrential friggin' downpour not that long ago. And stopped and opened my bag and got clears and stuff. And I hadn't left them open since then. And I'm fairly certain there was a dead person in that bag. Good Lord, that was funky. But I'm gonna leave them open. They got a Febreze or something. I'm not sure even what it was. There's no clothes or nothing in there, but I'm fairly certain Jimmy Hoffa was in there. It was funky. So we're doing the switch out. So for those of you that are newer, nosy ass neighbors, man. Okay, so those of you that are newer, so I had a 2-into-1, like an S&S 2-into-1 Sidewinder on here, and Advanblack was nice enough to give me the Dominator fender and stretch bags for this bike. He showed his license plate. Oh my God. Anyway, and of course you see this little cutout there. So it only had the one cutout for the 2-into-1. Well, not that long after, my buddy, who he doesn't want me to use his name because the CIA may catch him. His name's Eric. Anyway, Eric built a new bagger and had this Graffeo pipe and offered it to me, and I purchased it from him used. And you can see it's turning a nice color now. I'm really happy with it, you know. And I love the way it sounds, and the bike actually runs pretty good. I did start developing a little bit of detonation last time when I hit it real hard, so it does need to have the auto-tune run. And let's be honest, eventually I'll throw a cam in this thing and a proper tuner on it when that's an option. As far as I know, there's still no other tuners out here for these bike for 21s, except for Harley's tuner. Someone right now is commenting, what about the FP3? What about, it doesn't work for the 21. The cable is different as of 2021. So I'm kind of stuck with Harley's tuner for now, and it needs to be richened up, and it can't really do much, so we'll see. I might just have a little of a pop when I hit it hard. Short story long. My buddy at Advanblack, we're literally friends now. We talk all the time. And a side note, I've noticed on the social medias, the Googles and the interwebs, some people being awful hard on the company saying, you know, there's a delay in where are my parts? Where are my parts? I don't know if you know that, but the whole world is kind of slowing down the shipping lately. So it's not Advanblack. It's the whole world right now is stuck. I know from personal experience, other vendors and stuff that I've bought for all kinds of stuff just ain't getting here when it should, right? Things are running slow. So cut the dude some slack. I mean, like, anyway. Also, I mean, this fender, it's somewhere between like $700 and $800 painted, right? Like, I mean, like this Dominator fender, CVO taillights, a lit license plate frame, all the wiring, actually a better harness than factory because it runs outside and not under. I'll show you that in a bit. It's like $700 or $800. You want to complain about shipping delays? Why don't you go buy a fender someplace else, take it to a local paint shop, and see if it doesn't take longer than it does to get one from them, and what it ends up costing you. Just food for thought before you start getting all whiny about stuff taking a while. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to take off the seat. We're going to take out the quick release brackets, a couple of bolts there. We're going to bend these guys away. Not bend, we're going to rotate these guys away from the bike and get the fender out of there. Oh, never mind. It didn't scratch. It's fine. It didn't scratch. Take off your jewelries before you do this stuff, because this rear end is going to go on my good pal Olaf's bike. Olaf has a 2020, I think it is, Road Glide Special, all blacked out. And I have, you can see over there, I don't know if you can, woo, some smoked CVO taillights for him. And he is going to buy, because he was running a stock header and some slip-ons, he's going to buy a good 2-into-1, I don't know which one, and a tuner. And then when he's got that stuff in hand, we're going to put this rear end on his bike. So works out real well for both of us. So again, thanks to Advanblack. They're good dudes, man. I mean, and actually, another side note on that, I had a long conversation with my friend. I don't want to say his name. People try and find him. The CEO of Advanblack. And have you heard how much this dude cares and how much it bothers him that people are like, you know, I'm trying to do it as fast as I can. The guy is stressing over this. So just be aware, he's a good guy with a family and a whatnot, and he's doing his damn well best to get things from manufacturing around the world to another plant that paints it, which, by the way, I mean, this fender's dirty as hell. The paint is good. I mean, it's, again, I said this in an earlier video, when I was a much younger man, I was an estimator at a body shop, and look at that, there ain't no orange peel. So it's a good quality part and good quality paint, so be patient in these times when waiting for something. So, yeah, let me start taking our ass apart. I'm just gonna leave it, all right. This is not a how-to channel, but if there's any bit of overarching advice I can give you, don't try and, oh, I can do the job without taking this bolt and that bolt out. Take everything out. Take everything off you need to get the job done right. No problems, nothing's happened. I'm just saying, I've seen buddies like, no, I can do it if I just do this, this, and this. In this one, no. I mean, you take the chrome side supports off, you know, and then you take these two bolts out, nuts and bolts out back here, and drop this free. That piece comes off. So there's your chrome, you know, bit right there. You've already taken the quick release out. That comes first because it's inside. Once you take those off, there are going to be some zip ties to cut because your wiring, you might have some wiring. For me, like I have my antenna zip tied to that on the inside. And then the stereo mess here has to go there, and the wires for the actual taillights. On the factory fender, bad engineering. It's here, and it's adhesive stripped to the inside of the fender, and that's and then goes out to your taillight. On the Advanblack, they're smart enough to run the wires up one side. See, so it runs up the side of the fender, you know, here into the bike. That to me makes a hell of a lot more sense because you're never going to have that, you know, droop down, rub the tire. There goes your lights. You know, I've had buddies with old baggers that have actually had that happen, where it starts hanging down, slowly the tire's rubbing on it, frays through the wires, kills your taillight. Oh, what's wrong with it? You're screwing with bulbs and everything else, and it's because the wire's in pieces inside the fender. So, so take her all the way down. It's kind of funny. You see a bagger in pieces in the rear, and big ass Sportster. That's all it is. So now I got to transfer my custom dynamics taillights that I bought for this, that are the same as on the wife's CVO. I'm going to transfer those into the new fender, the license plate frame, some other little doodads, and then from there the fender only actually mounts to the bike directly with 4 bolts. And you can see them sticking out there. You transfer your factory stuff to the new ones, and the holes are cut just right. So I got to transfer those. The seat mount. Don't forget. If you do this to yourself, for yourself, do this to yourself. If you do this for yourself, transfer everything while everything's off, and go through it a million times before you start reassembly. So the bracket for the seat has to go through the bottom of the fender. You don't want to put this thing all together and go, oh no, like take it all back apart again. I say that it's almost like I've done it before. Anyway, so you want to put your seat mount bracket on there. You want to do your taillights. You actually want to do your license plate frame. You want to do the fender support bracket. You want to do all that stuff onto the new fender before you mount it up. It's just going to make your life a hell of a lot easier doing it that way. I'm just putting off the work. All right, so let me get back at it. Stop, start. Wife called, father called, friends called, work called. Done now. It's dark in here. I apologize in advance to the Advanblack crew, but there she is. I'll do some better stuff, you know, like some pictures tomorrow, but that is the full stretch 0 into 0. I don't know. Rear end, no cutouts for any pipes. So they're like, what are you talking about? These are no cutouts there, because I'm running this Graffeo 2-in-1 turnout, which someone said earlier, isn't that kind of a bitch in a right turn? Yeah. I catch it on a right turn, that's for sure. But, you know, the funny thing is when I put all this back together, the tour back's more solid. I don't know, like it didn't have a lot of movement before, but it had a little bit. Then I hadn't adjusted the rollers. You know, you can twist those, by the way. The rollers that the tour pack, you know, mounts to in the quick release deal are oblong, so you can turn them a bit. And I had done that, and I got it pretty close, but still had a little bit of movement. Take the, you know, quick release brackets off to swap out the ass end, put them back on, and now it's solid as a rock. So I can't figure that one out, but so yeah. One thing I still love about the factory tour pack is the fact that it says Harley there. You know, but Custom Dynamics CVO lights and lower arms, they don't make one yet for this. Supposedly when they do, we'll be doing that one. I'm not sure when it's going to come out though, but you know, when it does, we'll have it. And there's the lit up rear end. So this is Advanblack's lit license plate frame. You can get it with the fender, so it's really nice. It's heavyweight. LEDs are recessed in there. I'm a fan, so I'm telling you what, price not even considering, I think it's good stuff. And that's just, yes, they gave it to me. They did give me this rear end, but I am not a paid spokesperson, and I think they're fantastic. So if you want to switch out the rear end of your bike, want to give your bike a new ass, I'll put prices and stuff here, but I think that fender's around the 700-ish painted black, maybe 800. I'm not sure. I'll put it up there in letters. You idiot, da da da. And then the stretch bags to go with it. So I'm gonna figure out not the quick release stuff, because that's a whole other deal. But I'm gonna figure out what this rear end would cost you if you already have a black bike. I'm not gonna factor in the Custom Dynamics taillights, because again, this rear end comes with taillights. It comes with like stock style CVO taillights, either smoked or red. I added the Custom Dynamics Pro Beams. I bought those. Yes, I bought them. So I'll mock up how much that rear end would cost if you were to buy it for your bike, and I'll be putting prices all over here and links and stuff. That Rockford Fosgate stereo makes sounds when you shut it down. Anyway, so that's it. We'll talk soon. Take care of each other. Bye.